families eating just once a day, parents forced to pick between paying the power bill or putting food on the table. Food banks across America now look like war zone rations lines. Prices are exploding, paychecks are collapsing. This silent survival crisis is making people shrink portions or skip meals entirely. Today we expose 7 states hit the hardest, places where daily meals have become a luxury, right here in the United States. Number 1, Texas. Once called the land of opportunity, a state where a working man could feed his family, buy a home, keep a fridge full. Now, a loaf of bread costs nearly an hour's wage for a janitor. And the shocking truth, even people with steady jobs are skipping meals. Texas has over 4 million people unsure where their next meal comes from. Seniors are crushed the most. 13.6% of Texans over 60 go hungry, despite working, paying taxes, and retiring legally. Imagine serving your country all your life, only to starve in your own home. In El Paso, food banks now run night shifts just to feed workers. Picture it, a Walmart employee, 8 hours on the job, then standing in line for free food. Unthinkable a decade ago. The suburbs, just as grim. In Laredo, families survive on instant noodles, rice, canned beans. They call it a survival skill, not a diet. How did the oil capital, a leader in energy and growth, fall this far? Exploding housing costs, utility bills rising, gas and insurance climbing, policies failing, SNAP benefits slashed, gas prices spiking, food transport costs, the ones paying the deadly price, you, me, and millions of Texans. And don't think it's just rural towns. Look at Houston, a modern city, whole neighborhoods where, after dark, the kitchen lights stay off. Not because families sleep early, but because there's nothing to cook. Texas is starving, not just for food, but for justice, accountability, and policies that actually protect working people. A state once known for independence and resilience now drowns under toxic prices where 3 meals a day is a privilege, not a right. Ask yourself, what if tomorrow you had to choose groceries or gas to get to work? Number 2, Louisiana. Have you ever seen a child sit in silence, not from tiredness, but because hunger would make them cry if they spoke? In Louisiana, that's no longer rare. Feeding America reports Louisiana among the worst states for child hunger. Here, many kids only eat well at school, and only if the budget hasn't been cut. When funding vanishes, so does food. In Baton Rouge, free breakfast programs have been suspended. For some children, that means no food from the night before until noon. Parents, breaking under grocery bills climbing every week. Food assistance delayed, reduced, sometimes gone. Louisiana knows hardship, but the outrage is this. A state rich in resources, agriculture, ports, culture, can't even guarantee a child a daily breakfast. In the north, rural families drive dozens of miles just to find a supermarket. In the cities, food swamps dominate, shelves packed with toxic processed junk, chips, cookies, soda, cheap, filling, deadly. Because when you have $10 for the day, you don't buy fresh vegetables. You buy poison that keeps you full, and that's how a child's body starts to break down. Families here live at a cruel crossroads, eat toxic fake food or eat nothing at all. And the most gut-wrenching, parents starving themselves, leaving the little food they have for their kids. Some call it sacrifice. But when hundreds of thousands are forced into the same sacrifice, it's not choice, it's collapse. Walk the old neighborhoods of New Orleans and you'll see it. Mothers holding SNAP vouchers that can't even buy baby formula. You can hear it in a father's sigh, staring at a grocery bill that's doubled in just 6 months. You can see it in the silent rage in people's eyes when they realize they are nobody's priority. Louisiana isn't just running out of food, it's running out of trust. Number 3, Indiana. Here, hunger hides behind closed doors. No long food bank lines, no protests, no screaming headlines, just curtains drawn in small homes in towns once booming with factories like Fort Wayne and South Bend. Behind those curtains, elderly Americans starving in silence. Feeding America reports Indiana has the highest senior hunger rate in the entire nation, a staggering 19.6%. These numbers don't shout, but if they did, They'd sound like a weary sigh. Over a dinner of dry bread and tap water. Indiana was once the beating heart of industry, a place where hard work meant security in retirement. Now, retirees on fixed pensions face endless price hikes in food, electricity, medicine. This isn't unemployment. This is a tragedy of the very people who built America's backbone, now skipping meals to afford blood pressure pills. And the cruelest part? They don't complain. They buy the cheapest can of soup. Count coins at the register. Call it adaptation. But it's not adaptation, it's retreat. No one films Indiana's elderly skipping lunch. No one reports the kitchens with lights on, but nothing cooking inside. Yet the truth spreads, like a crack across entire communities. Indiana doesn't need pity, it needs honesty. And the truth is this: tens of thousands of seniors live with fear about their next meal. They're not begging, they're not making noise, they're quietly disappearing from society's sight. So if you think hunger only belongs in poor or rural states, look again. Look at Indiana, a state once stable, safe, now a place where even dinner is an unanswered question. Number 4, Mississippi. When an American family splits a single packet of noodles into 3 meals, you know something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. In Mississippi, splitting a packet of noodles into 3 meals isn't rare anymore. This is one of the poorest states in America. Nearly 20% live below the poverty line. And food prices have turned even the simplest meal into a stressful calculation. Not what to eat, but whether to eat at all. This isn't just remote poverty. In downtown Jackson, you'll see workers at bus stops holding nothing but a bottle of water and a moldy slice of bread. That's all they had left after paying the power bill. The Mississippi Food Network reports 1 in 5 children live in severe food insecurity. And many of these kids, their parents work full-time. So what's wrong? Having a job no longer means stability. Wages can't keep up with milk, bread, or even a cheap box of cereal. In the East, families live 20 miles from the nearest grocery store. If the car breaks, there's no food. In Jackson, poor neighborhoods are turning into food deserts, only corner stores packed with soda and junk. Families here feed kids potato chips instead of vegetables. Sounds like a joke. But in Mississippi, it's reality. And the elderly, silent victims. They skip meals. They hand their last portion to their grandkids. People who once grew up on farm meals now survive on expired canned goods handed out by churches. This crisis doesn't scream. It quietly strangles families, one small community at a time. And the most heartbreaking truth? They're not asking for luxuries. They just want one full meal a day. But even that has become rare. Mississippi proves poverty isn't always visible. Not every missed meal is seen. If you believe America could never go hungry, you've never walked the streets of Mississippi. Number 5, Arkansas. Here's the burning question keeping families awake. If you work 40 hours a week and still can't afford to eat, what else can you call it but system failure? Arkansas was once seen as affordable, easy living, but now, many who never dreamed of standing in line for food aid are there. According to the USDA, in 2025, Arkansas food insecure households hit 15%, nearly double the national average. And it's not just poor towns. Even the suburbs of Little Rock, once middle-class strongholds, are falling into the same hunger trap. What's waking people up in Arkansas? Not a few extra cents on milk. It's the crushing truth. The harder they work, the worse they live. A 58-year-old man in Conway told us this. After his hours were cut and he lost health insurance, dinner became a sandwich and a glass of warm water. Not because he's lazy, but because Arkansas's labor and welfare policies can't withstand the storm of rising costs. Step into a supermarket. Look at the meat aisle. It's empty, not of food, but of shoppers. People glance at the prices and walk away. 1 pack of meat now costs more than feeding a whole family for a day. So dinners in Arkansas replaced with noodles, rice, or nothing at all. Vegetarian by choice? Not here. People eat what they can afford, not what they want. And here's the toxic truth. The state's budget is part of the problem. Millions go to highways and infrastructure, while funding for food aid, school meals, and housing is frozen or cut. Do you see the betrayal? Taxpayers starving, while their money funds projects they'll never touch. And now the question echoes across Arkansas: who is this state really serving? Number 6, Oklahoma. Oklahoma isn't the first state you think of when it comes to hunger, but that's why the collapse here feels even more brutal. This is farmland country, a place built on self-sufficiency and pride. But today, families line up for food aid, and for many it feels like a slap to the face. For the first time, households with full-time jobs are flooding food banks. The Community Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma reports visits for groceries in early 2025 jumped 32% compared to last year. And it's not just the numbers, it's the faces. These aren't the unemployed, they're working, paying taxes, and still starving. Meanwhile, gas, electricity, food, everything climbs week after week. Wages frozen. The government smiling, saying it's under control. Ask single mothers in Tulsa, they'll tell you otherwise. Walk through Latin American immigrant neighborhoods in South Oklahoma City. Families cook only one meal a day, at night, not by choice, but because that's when the kids are home and there's only enough money for one pot of food. The cruelty doesn't stop there. Many families don't qualify for SNAP. Their wages are just above the poverty line, but nowhere near enough to survive. Stuck in the middle, not poor enough to get help, not rich enough to live. And the system treats them like they don't exist. So ask yourself, what kind of system deserves trust if it works like this? What's shocking in Oklahoma is this: the state ranks among the top in beef and wheat production, fields overflowing with food, yet families are starving. That's not irony, that's structural failure. When people live in abundance but eat in emptiness, the blame isn't on the individual, it's the system breaking. And Oklahomans are learning that truth the hard way, through the hollow ache of daily meals that never come. Number 7, North Carolina, once believed to be a safe zone, a strong economy, steady farms, affordable living. People thought North Carolina could withstand the storm, but 2025 crushed that illusion. This isn't rumor, this isn't just a feeling, it's visible in the daily lives of hundreds of thousands. Hunger-Free North Carolina reports nearly 17% of households now face moderate to severe food insecurity. And here's the most shocking part: most of them have at least one working adult. Yes, you can clock in every day, pay your taxes, gas up your car, and still not know if you'll have enough to eat. In cities like Fayetteville, Greensboro, even Charlotte, once working-class havens, families skip breakfast, stretch hours between meals, or delay dinner until 9 p.m. Eat late, go straight to bed, trick the body into forgetting hunger. And there's a heavy feeling spreading here, the sense of being trapped in a dream that never arrives. North Carolina has it all: fertile farmland, distribution hubs, logistics networks. Yet its own people stand in line for peanut butter and rice from charities, while the state exports food across the region. Doesn't that feel like betrayal? Then there are the retirees, men and women who lived through wars, who saw America rise, now sitting in church halls, clutching food vouchers, whispering, "I never thought I'd live like this at 70. North Carolina isn't the only state breaking, but the awakening here is spreading faster, not through speeches, through action. Neighbors forming food-sharing circles, shopkeepers donating unsold stock, churches turning prayer nights into free dinners. This awakening isn't anger, it's realization. If you keep waiting, no one is coming to save you. Because what ties Texas, Indiana, North Carolina together isn't just food prices. It's the feeling of being abandoned by a system meant to protect them. Millions of Americans skip meals, not from laziness, but because basic choices have become luxuries. And if it's happening in states with land, jobs, proud histories, then it's no longer personal failure. It's a structure cracking from within. The real question is, will America face this reality or keep looking away until the entire system collapses? This investigation does not promote division. It exposes reality to analyze, to question, to spark discussion. We respect the Constitution, we respect the law, but truth must be spoken. And if today's deep dive made you think, drop a comment below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our next independent expose.